What's up, everybody? Cruel Legacy here. Today we're going to be watching Playtime Episode 2, Crash Course.
Where are we going?
Driving vehicles has always been one of my absolute favorite things to do in Halo. So many of my favorite memories from Halo over the years involve crashing vehicles. When I came up with the core concept for Playtime, I knew right from the start that I had to do an entire episode dedicated to vehicles. It's just such a core part of why I love Halo. So that was the birth of Crash Course.
Did you build all this?
Yep.
When the heck did you have time to do that?
I like the idea of taking a familiar real-world place like a driver's education training course and recreating that in the Halo universe here. I built a fairly standard-looking course, but of course, Warren being the kind of person he is, I knew that he would have to build in some obstacles that just were simply unfair in every possible way. It's part of why I find this episode so funny. Is he's laid these booby traps all throughout the entire course, and there's absolutely no benefit to Cobra in any way. They do not help him become a better driver at all. They just blow him up in a series of funny ways, and so that was part of what I found so funny about the situation, is that there's absolutely no good reason for Warren to build these traps, and there's also no good reason for Cobra to keep trying to drive around the course, but he keeps going anyway. This was probably the most complicated episode to edit from a sound point of view. The audio editing in this episode was really tricky. There's lots of scenes where Cobra and Warren are speaking to each other from great distances. So I had to do lots of editing and processing there to make sure their voices sounded like they were coming from far away or close to the camera, depending on each individual shot. Lots of panning too, lots of situations where the character who's speaking is moving across the screen from left to right, so I had to make sure their voice matched that panning. Now, some of the traps I built into this training course here are set on timers. For example, these fusion coils that fall on Cobra here, I built them onto a set spawn timer in Forge. So when I was filming, I had to position Cobra where I needed him and then watch the clock and start acting out the scene at the right time, so that when the clock hit a certain moment, Cobra would be in position and ready to hit the trap. Similar situation with this kill ball here. That's set on a spawn timer as well. Now, some of the other traps in this environment, for example, some of these traffic cones actually do have kill barriers built into them. So by driving over them, you will automatically explode. This one here, there's a teleporter field built into that cone there, so driving over it really does warp you out into the middle of the ocean here. That was one of my favorite shots in the whole episode. That one came out really well. This final trap that Cobra runs into is another example where I went into Forge and created a whole bunch of landmines and set them all to spawn into the environment at a certain time. So I just had to get him there, act out the scene between him and Warren, and then wait for the clock to run down. And the resulting explosion was 10 times better than I could have hoped. That one worked out really well. And this final scene here, the episode, of course, ends on a cliffhanger with Warren staring up at some object which is supposedly plummeting through the sky towards Cobra's head. I originally filmed it with, there was a giant crate that fell out of the sky and landed on Cobra. And it looked funny, but I decided to cut it out because I just kind of liked the idea of leaving that little bit hanging there. We've already seen Cobra get blown up so many times in this episode. I thought that adding one more didn't really bring anything new to the episode. So I left it on that little bit of a cliffhanger there. Thought it was more funny being unseen. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in next week when we're going to take another look at Playtime Episode 3, The Griff Cannon.